everybody, Seth Cole here at the Asia Sports Channel, and welcome to the, I guess you could say, Wrestlemania review here on SRA, where I'm going to basically be going through all the different matchups and letting you guys know what I thought of them, how I thought they were good, they were bad, they were Plus, we're also going to be giving you guys the y.W.c predictions results, as a number of us ended up having our predictions not only in the video that was out here earlier on this week, or last week I should say, but also there were some other y.W.c members that gave predictions later on. If you saw them in the description of that video. We're going to give you basically who the champion is here after WrestleMania as far as the y.W.c predictions champion. But nonetheless, let's get right down into it. Let's start things off. We're going to just go down the card. I know that these are not in order of how the matchups actually were in WrestleMania's lineup, because I know that the Shane McMahon AJ Styles battle, that was moved to the kickoff show, as was the Corbin Ambrose Intercontinental title match, and so they moved the SmackDown Women's Championship match over to the main card. But we're just going to go down through the list of what we had based off of the description of the WrestleMania predictions video. So, first was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And we ended up seeing some interesting figures in this Battle Royal. Of course, Mark Henry got announced late. He ended up being in it. Big Show, obviously. Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn. Then we ended up having Ty Bing in there. That was pretty cool. And also Killian Dane. This one surprised me because Killian Dane had actually just taken part in that four-way tag team matchup last night. Not last night, but the night before at NXT TakeOver Orlando when Sanity took on, I don't remember who it was, Cassius Ohno, Ty Dillinger, and some other people. I don't remember who the other two were, to be perfectly honest. I guess Ruby Riott was one, and I can't remember who the other person was. Nope, it's not coming in. I can't pick it out. Anyway, so Killian Dane was in there. Okay. So I guess he was like the NXT superstar that was in there. I was really hoping, I know a lot of other people too were hoping for Ty Dillinger because they had already brought him in for the Royal Rumble earlier on this year. Thought maybe this would be a perfect opportunity to showcase him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Easy for me to say. Didn't happen. A lot of people were not satisfied with this finish. I actually really, really liked it because it's not often in a Battle Royal that WWE are able to swerve you. Going in, there were three people that seemed to be the favorites. Big Show was a possibility, even though I don't think they would have him win two Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royals. And then also, Sami Zayn was kind of that possible underdog story that could possibly have it happen. But the big one heading in, everybody thought was going to be Braun Strowman. So in fact, that's who everybody picked for our y.W.c predictions. So everybody doesn't get a point for the first matchup. But look at some of the people they had for the last few individuals in the ring there. You had Killian Dane being one, so it almost looked like maybe he would be the one that would end up being able to get it. Jinder Mahal, who's kind of been in the jobber section, but maybe he's getting a little bit of a push. I don't know. This is very interesting. And then Mojo Rawley, who ends up winning the thing. Now, a lot of people are like, well, why did Mojo Rawley win? I mean, Mojo Rawley, what has he done to deserve it? Let's think about this, okay? Let's think about this very carefully. Go back to WrestleMania when Zack Ryder, the last WrestleMania, Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, he lost it 24 hours later, but Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley formed up as the Hype Bros. The two of them were number one contenders for the tag team titles, and then Zack Ryder ended up getting injured. So I think that Mojo Rawley really got owed something, and this, I think, was a good way of being able to give him what really he deserved, which was an opportunity at winning something big. And to be honest, I love the fact that they threw in Rob Gronkowski. Yes, I'm a Patriots fan, but that has nothing to do with it. The fact that Rob Gronkowski, knowing the tie-in that Mojo Rawley has to the NFL, this I thought was pretty awesome. And I am hoping, okay, I know we're going to be back in Orlando for Raw tonight. I am hoping that maybe on SmackDown as well, I think SmackDown's going to be in Orlando as well, that Gronkowski comes back and we get to see maybe a cameo from him again, Rawley and Gronkowski in a tag team match against somebody. That would be pretty doggone awesome. I loved it. I loved the fact that Rawley won. I loved the interference by Gronkowski. I thought it was great. almost kind of taking a page out of the playbook of the Ronda Rousey thing that took place last year when, a celebrity gets over the barricade, gets into the ring. I thought this was great. I loved it. And I loved the fact that Mojo Rawley won because it was a swerve. Nobody expected it. Nobody thought it was going to happen. It was a swerve. You thought, who's going to be? Rawley, Jinder, or Dane? I mean, those three. Who would have put them in the final three? Unbelievable. A lot of people say that this is really going to hurt Braun Strowman in the term that he was going to look really dominant, but no, it doesn't make him look weak because look what happened. It wasn't one person eliminating him. Everyone ganged up on the Big Show. Everyone ganged up on Braun Strowman. It still makes him look powerful, just like it did with the triple powerbomb that went on with Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha against Nia Jax, which we'll get into in a little bit. People thought, wow, this still makes Nia look strong. Well, then how does Braun Strowman not still look strong when it took about 13, 14 individuals to get him out of a battle royal ring? I still think he looks strong. So as I said, though, everybody for the y.W.c predictions had Braun Strowman winning. Strowman didn't win. Nobody has a point. So right now, it's a tie at 0 for the predictions. We move on now to Adrian Neville, the champion, defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Austin Aries. This was a really good matchup, and I liked the fact they put it on the pre-show for two reasons. I think, one, this was a well-built-up match, so everybody was really, invested in this, very interested in this, and this caused people to want to tune into the kickoff show. Good job, WWE. Next up, I think that this was a good matchup to have on the pre-show because it gave them the opportunity to be able to utilize a little bit more time than what they would have had on the main card. You put it on the main card, you're going to have your typical cruiserweight matchup where you're squeezing all this action into about 5 to 7 minutes, very quick ending. People think, wow, that could have been a lot better. This was a perfect idea, putting it on the kickoff show, allowing them a little bit more allotted time. Neville wins. I actually think this was a good decision too because I think this build-up that they had and this battle that Aries and Neville had can actually carry over into some other shows. I don't think that it's just a one-and-done deal. Have Neville versus Aries. Aries wins the title, that's it. I think this feud can go on for a long time, and I think that these are two of the best in the ring when it comes to the Cruiserweight division. So this is, I think, an opportunity to draw out that rivalry a little bit longer. I think this was the right choice to have Neville win. That's why I ended up picking him as my winner, as did Chris Dolitch and Sean Henley. So myself, Chris, Sean, right now we're one up on the rest of the competition. Next we get to another matchup where nobody got the prediction right. There were 3 matchups here where nobody out of y.W.c predicted the correct result. Gallows and Anderson, the champions, defend against Enzo and Cass, Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Why didn't anyone get it right? We all chose Enzo and Cass. Why? Why did nobody get it correct? Because the Hardys are back in WWE, and this, I thought, was an awesome build-up for the Hardys by WWE because you have New Day come out. They're in their wrestling attire, and they're like, this is going to be a fatal 4-way matchup, and you're thinking, oh boy, but then you're also thinking, wait a minute, Hardy Boys were in Orlando. Have they had the contract worked out so that way they're able to debut tonight? Or are we going to have to wait until, the Raw, the SmackDown after WrestleMania? Or are we going to have to wait till the next pay-per-view? You thought they're going to be showing up, but then you thought, well, no, maybe the New Day will invert themselves because, the New Day are the hosts. They could put themselves in the title hunt. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But then the Hardys music hit, and I'll tell you what, I don't mark out very often when it comes to WWE, because most of the time it's like, yeah, I kind of knew that was happening, because, we had these rumors and everything. This one was awesome, because you didn't know if it was going to be the Hardys, or if it was going to be the New Day. You did not know. You could not say with absolute certainty, it's going to be the Hardys, no doubt about it. So you had that kind of wondering in the back of your mind, and then the Hardys come out, and it's like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Now, another thing that people got upset about was it didn't really look like the Hardys were really doing the whole broken persona. You didn't really have the Brother Nero look. You didn't really have the broken Matt look. Think about it. Right now, the Hardys are in a bit of a legal dispute with Impact Wrestling. So WWE's not going to go out and say, okay, you're able to do all this stuff that, you're in a dispute with TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever, about the broken gimmick. You can go out and do it right now. This is a pretty touchy subject in the whole legal dispute. So WWE could not, let loose the reins right now and say you can go out and do your broken persona. because then WWE would get involved probably in some legal things, and I don't think WWE wants to do that. We're going to have to see, especially tonight on Monday Night Raw, if the Hardys are going to be bringing on the Broken Persona, because I'm certain we're going to get a promo out of them, and we'll have to hear how Matt Hardy is on the mic. Is he going to sound like Broken Matt, or is he going to sound like Matt Hardy from Team Extreme? So, everybody had Enzo and Big Cass. Obviously, that was not the end result. The Hardys winning. The Hardys are the Raw Tag Team Champions, which I don't have a problem with. I would personally have liked to have seen the Hardys win the SmackDown Tag Team titles, because I think that's the division over there that needs the most help. Right now, you've only got two really good contenders for the Tag Team titles, and that's the Usos and the American Alpha. And the Usos threw out a gauntlet challenge. You know, anybody that wants to challenge us, we'll take them on. That seemed like the perfect opportunity to bring the Hardys in. I was a little surprised that they debuted to go for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We're going to have to see where this brings us down the road. There was a lot of talk about Sheamus and Cesaro breaking up, and now it looks like with the way that they were all dressed alike for WrestleMania, it looks like they're going to be staying a tag team for a while. So it'll be interesting to see. The only thing I'm hoping is that on the side, the SmackDown doesn't seem to have enough tag teams. I'm almost hoping that it's not going to be the case that Raw has too many tag teams. So, Enzo and Cass didn't get their WrestleMania moment. We'll have to see what happens later on down the road. Are they going to be the ones to take the tag team titles from the Broken Hardys, or from the Hardys? I don't know. But there you go. So it's still 1-1-1 for myself, Chris Dalton, and Sean Henley. Everybody else still at 0. We go on now to the SmackDown Championship match. This one was disappointing as well in 3 different ways. Alexa Bliss defending against, we found out, a 6-pack challenge, Natalya, Mickie James, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Carmella. Okay, let's go to number 1, why I was disappointed in this matchup. It was a 6-pack challenge. We had all these rumors. I mean, you know, Kelly had mentioned something about that they were getting something together for WrestleMania. We never saw anything to do with that. You know, there's talk about Emma, Summer Rae coming over to SmackDown to be part of it. Nothing ever happened. It was just a 6-pack challenge. The 6 women that we saw in that rather muddled go-home SmackDown show, they were in it. That was it. It was like, why all this buildup? It made no sense. So, basically 6 women. Alright. The second reason that I didn't exactly care for this was it was literally the lead-up match to the main events, which meant that it wasn't going to get a lot of proper time. You have too many bodies in the ring. If it had been a battle royal, okay. But a 6-pack challenge and you're trying to fit it in a tiny amount of space, it's too much going on, too much offense. I'm going to be perfectly honest. They talk about a women's revolution. This is back to what they used to do with the women's matches, where they had a lot of women showcased. It was too hurried, and it just didn't seem to matter. And the third problem that I had with this was the fact that there were a couple of women in the matchup I didn't really think deserved to be in the matchup. I think that, to be honest, would have been a little bit better off if we had just had Alexa Bliss versus Naomi in a one-on-one matchup. We probably would have had a much better result. Just my opinion, but that's how I feel. Too many bodies in there. And so why am I saying, well, then we should have had Emma and Summer Rae and, Kelly and maybe returning superstars that were, offered an opportunity like Lita and Victoria and, who was the other one? There was another one that was offered an opportunity to come back. Can't remember who it was. Eve Torres was another one that was a possibility since she was down in Orlando at some WrestleCon or something like that. It never happened. End result, yes, Naomi wins. That's good. That's fine. I think it kind of put Alexa Bliss into a transitional champion slot, which I didn't care for, but, it is what it is. If you're going to put a transitional champion slot, though, put it on somebody like Mickie James, who's, just returning back. It's not really going to matter that she hasn't retained the championship at WrestleMania. But anyway, regardless, Naomi wins in front of her home crowd in Orlando. Yippee-dee. Only people that got this one correct were Naomi winning were Michael, Kyle, and Sean, which means that Michael is at 1. I gotta change something here. I made a mistake here. Michael's at 1. Sean is in the lead. Sean's in the lead with... Okay, So the end result with that is Sean's in the lead with 2, and then tied with 1 are myself, Chris Dollarton, Kyle Matthews, and Michael Norman. Kev Shearer and Trent Dunham still with a big goose egg. Alright, so now we move on to the Intercontinental Championship match, and this one, disappointing. Very disappointing. Because Dean Ambrose hadn't defended his title for who knows how long. So that was, almost a thought of, okay, he's going to lose it at WrestleMania. And the matchup between himself and Baron Corbin wasn't really good. It honestly was not any good. Regardless, though, there you go. It wasn't good, and Baron Corbin didn't win. It was cool, the finisher, where he was going for end of days, Baron Corbin was, and Dean Ambrose turned it into the Dirty Deeds, but still, I didn't care for this matchup. This matchup wasn't good. I'm glad it was on the kickoff show. Baron Corbin does not win. Lovely. Dean Ambrose is still the champion. Lovely. Why? Everybody picked Baron Corbin. Nobody gets a point. So it's still Sean with 2, and then myself, Kyle, Michael, and Dollarton tied with 1. We now move on where things start to take a little bit of a split, as it is Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. Everybody pretty much thought about this was going to be happening. Chris Jericho defending against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens wins the title. It was a good match. There's no doubt about that. It was a good match. Could have been a little bit more, I thought, a little bit more volatile based on the rivalry the two of them had, but it was still good. It was still a good matchup. Not going to say too much about this except for, I enjoyed the match. And the right decision, Kevin Owens wins. Chris Jericho's going to be stepping away. Kevin Owens, it'll be interesting to see what Kevin Owens is going to do as the U.S. champ. I mean, who is he going to go up against now? Braun Strowman? I could see Owens versus Strowman. That would be cool. Maybe Finn Balor coming back? Possibly. You never know. Samoa Joe possibility. I don't really know if that's going to be the case because it's almost looking like we're going to have the faction of Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, Triple H. But we'll get to that. Kevin Owens wins. So Sean continues to have the points lead by 3. Myself, Michael, Kyle, and Chris are all tied at 2. And Kevin Trent get on the board with a point apiece. Next we move on to the Fatal 4-Way matchup, elimination matchup I should say, for the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Nia Jax. This matchup was okay. It was a good matchup. Nia Jax was eliminated early, which I think was good. All 3 of the other women ganging up on her, eliminating Nia Jax. So Nia still looks strong. Nia Jax out of the way. It's now Bayley, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. The thing that I didn't like about this was the way that the eliminations took place afterwards. Sasha Banks gets eliminated because she hits her head on an exposed turnbuckle, which wasn't completely exposed. That's how she's eliminated. Okay, not much creativity there. And Charlotte loses to Bayley due to a Macho Man Randy Savage elbow off the top rope. Really? That's the finisher? I mean, the Bayley to belly, I'll be honest, I don't think is a good finisher anyway. That doesn't seem like a move that would put an opponent away for a 3 count. But then a Macho Man Randy Savage elbow off the top rope. No, bad finish. Did not like the finish of that at all. The Sasha Banks elimination didn't make sense. The Charlotte getting eliminated didn't make sense. Bayley wins the championship. Yay, she retains it. Still, this matchup could have been a lot better. Plus the fact we didn't get the chance to see Charlotte's undefeated streak in pay-per-views take place at WrestleMania. So that wasn't there. Yay. I have to be honest. I didn't care for the women's matches for WrestleMania. And I was actually really looking forward to both of them, and neither one of them really seemed to deliver for me. But nonetheless, Bayley wins. Michael, Trent, Kyle, and Chris Dollarton all chose Bayley, and so therefore they now jump up into a 4-way tie to Michael, Kyle, and Chris, joining Sean Henley with 3 points apiece. Trent Dunham jumps up to 2 points. We move on next to John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. Undoubtedly maybe one of the best built-up matches on the card, and it was awful. Terrible. Because Maurice, let's not forget, Maurice was a former Divas champion, and The Miz is not only good on the mic, not only good as far as building up promos and everything, hence why he has Miz TV, which to me, I think is actually a really good talk show. They got no offense in. Zero. It was a squash match. You would